The shot heard round Los Angeles, a tragic death and the shattering aftermath on the bold and the beautiful. In the gilded, high-stakes world of Los Angeles fashion, where secrets are a form of currency and betrayal is a daily transaction, a single gunshot can irrevocably alter the landscape. For weeks, a storm had been brewing on the bold and the beautiful, a complex web of suspicion and surveillance spun by a trio of determined individuals. Now, that storm has broken, leaving in its wake a tragic death, a shocking arrest, and a future shrouded in uncertainty. The demise of Luna and the subsequent charging of Will for her murder has sent shockwaves through the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer dynasties, an event so cataclysmic it promises to reshape alliances, test loyalties, and plunge its central figures into a crucible of legal and emotional turmoil. This is not merely a spoiler. It is the anatomy of a tragedy and a deep dive into the profound consequences that will define the show for the foreseeable future. Part 1. The anatomy of a conspiracy. Every tragedy has its origins, and this one began not with a bang, but with a whisper. The drama's inciting incident was a clandestine alliance formed by Will, Steffi Forrester, and Officer Baker. Their shared objective: to unravel the enigma that was Luna. They believed she was operating under a veil of deceit, harboring hidden motives and potentially dangerous secrets. This was a mission born from a potent cocktail of protectiveness, suspicion, and perhaps a touch of misguided righteousness. For Will, the involvement was likely personal, a desire to shield his world from a perceived threat. His actions suggest a man who felt a deep-seated responsibility, one that compelled him to cross ethical lines for what he believed was the greater good. Steffi, a formidable matriarch in her own right, has a long history of fiercely protecting her family's legacy and stability. Her participation was undoubtedly rooted in this instinct, seeing Luna as a potential agent of chaos poised to disrupt the delicate balance of their lives. Officer Baker provided the operational expertise, lending a veneer of legitimacy to their covert activities, though his involvement straddled the precarious line between duty and personal vendetta. Operating under the radar, the trio meticulously monitored Luna's every move. One can imagine the late-night meetings, the exchanged whispers, the discreet tracking of conversations and movements. They were architects of a secret plan, believing they were preempting a disaster, confident they could outsmart Luna and expose whatever clandestine schemes she might be plotting. They saw themselves as protectors, the guardians at the gate. However, they underestimated their target. Luna was not a passive pawn in their game. Characterized by a sharp intuition and an unpredictable nature, she began to sense the invisible net closing in around her. Perhaps it was a stray comment from Will that didn't quite add up, a lingering glance from Steffi, or the unsettling feeling of being watched that pricked at her subconscious. The trigger remains unknown, but its effect was absolute. The slow-dawning realization that she was being followed, spied upon, and conspired against by those she may have even considered allies, ignited a firestorm of anger within her. Luna was not a character who took betrayal lightly, and the discovery that she was the target of a concerted plot pushed her emotions to a dangerous, volatile edge. The stage was set for a confrontation, but no one could have anticipated just how deadly it would become. Part 2. The deadly confrontation. The simmering tension between Luna and her observers was destined to boil over. Fueled by a potent sense of rage and betrayal, Luna made a chilling and fateful decision. She armed herself. In her mind, the gun she had concealed may have been a tool for self-preservation, a contingency planned against a world she now viewed as hostile. But in the heat of her fury, it became an instrument of confrontation. Her intent seemed clear as she zeroed in on Will, whom she likely saw as the face of the group's deception, the ringleader of the conspiracy against her. The air in the room crackled with palpable danger as she pointed the weapon at him. Her eyes blazed with a mixture of fury and desperation, her hands trembling with the sheer weight of her decision. This was a point of no return, a moment that would change the course of everyone's lives in the blink of an eye. But Will, despite being caught completely off guard by Luna's sudden and violent aggression, was not about to become a passive victim. In a split-second reaction driven by a primal surge of adrenaline and self-preservation, he lunged forward. His goal was singular: to disarm Luna, to wrestle the deadly weapon away from her grasp before the unthinkable could happen. What followed was a desperate, chaotic struggle. It was not a choreographed fight, but a frantic, ugly blur of motion. Their movements were a whirlwind of grunts and shouts, each fighting with every ounce of strength they possessed, Luna to exact her revenge or protect herself, and Will to survive. In this maelstrom of fear and anger, the boundaries of intent blurred. Every second stretched into an eternity as they grappled for control of the firearm, the outcome hanging precariously in the balance. Then, the chaos reached its tragic climax. A single, deafening gunshot rang out, piercing the tense atmosphere with a sound that would echo in the minds of everyone present. But it was not Will who fell. In a heartbreaking and shocking turn of events, Luna collapsed to the ground. It remains a devastatingly ambiguous moment. Did she accidentally pull the trigger in the scuffle? Did Will's desperate lunge inadvertently cause the gun to discharge? Or was there a darker, more deliberate action at play? Regardless of the exact mechanics, the result was the same. Luna, the woman they sought to expose, lay motionless, a pool of blood forming around her, her life tragically extinguished. Will stood frozen, the gun now either in his hands or dropped to the floor, the horrific reality of what had just happened beginning to sink in. He was no longer a protector. In the eyes of the law, he was now a suspect. Part 3. The immediate aftermath and emotional fallout. The sound of the gunshot was a summons, and the arrival of law enforcement was swift. Officer Baker, once a co-conspirator, was now forced to assume his official role, surveying the tragic scene with a mix of professional duty and personal shock. The camaraderie that had united Will, Steffi, and Baker was instantly shattered, replaced by the grim reality of their unintended consequences. What had started as a mission to uncover secrets had ended in bloodshed, and their shared goal was now a shared burden of guilt and regret. For Will, the moments that followed were a waking nightmare. The difficult decision was made to place him under arrest on suspicion of murder. Being read his rights and secured in handcuffs was not just a formality, it was a stark reminder of how quickly a life can be upended by a single moment of chaos. Sitting in a holding cell, or perhaps facing a grim interrogation, Will is undoubtedly replaying the fateful struggle over and over in his mind. Did he have to lunge for the gun? Could he have de-escalated the situation? These questions, combined with the crushing weight of Luna's death, are enough to break even the strongest spirit. This development sent shockwaves through his family. For his father, Bill Spencer, a man known for his fierce, often ruthless, protectiveness, the news of his son's arrest would hit like a ton of bricks. His fury would likely be matched only by his heartbreak, and he would undoubtedly move heaven and earth to secure the best legal representation for Will, determined to prove that the incident was not murder, but a tragic accident or self-defense. Will's mother, Katie Logan, would be overwhelmed with worry, her maternal instincts kicking into overdrive as she grapples with the fear of losing her son to the unforgiving legal system. Every phone call to a lawyer, every visit to Will in custody, will be steeped in anguish and desperation. Steffi, too, must bear a heavy burden of guilt. As one of the architects of the surveillance plan, she might feel personally responsible for the chain of events that led to Luna's death and Will's arrest. Her usual confidence and determination will be tested as she navigates the emotional fallout. The sense of camaraderie that once united the trio in their shared goal is now a toxic reminder of how horribly their plan went wrong, forever overshadowed by regret and the harsh reality of their actions. Part 4. The Ripple Effect, Tangled Webs and New Beginnings. While the immediate focus is on Will's arrest, the ripple effects of this tragedy will spread far and wide, touching upon long-standing dynamics and potentially birthing new, unexpected storylines. The death of a character, especially under such dramatic circumstances, serves as a powerful catalyst. The road ahead for Will is fraught with legal challenges. His defense team will likely focus on the fact that Luna drew the weapon first, positioning her as the initial aggressor and arguing that Will's actions were a direct response to a life-threatening situation. Testimonies from Steffi, Baker, and any other witnesses will be crucial in establishing the chaotic nature of the struggle and Will's lack of intent to kill. However, prosecutors might argue that Will's involvement in the surveillance plan provoked Luna, painting him as the instigator of the conflict. This legal battle promises to be a central focus of upcoming episodes, filled with courtroom drama and strategic maneuvers. This event also provides a powerful, logical reason for Steffi Forrester's temporary exit, necessitated by actress Jacqueline McInnes Wood's real-life pregnancy. Reeling from the trauma and her complicity in the plan that led to Luna's death, Steffi may decide to whisk her children, Kelly Spencer and Hayes Finnegan, away to a safer haven, perhaps a picturesque retreat in Europe. This move, while a means of escape, could introduce a poignant conflict with Liam Spencer, Kelly's father, who has been desperately cherishing every moment with his daughter amidst rumors of his own potential tragic fate. A heartfelt video call confrontation between a distant Steffi and a heartbroken Liam is an emotional certainty. With Steffi temporarily out of the picture, her husband, Dr. John Finn Finnegan, is left at a crossroads. The writers face the challenge of keeping his character relevant and entangled in compelling drama. One intriguing possibility is that Finn finds an unexpected ally in Poppy Nozawa, Luna's grieving mother, as they bond over their shared concern for Luna's spiraling behavior. Alternatively, with Hope Logan once again single, their past flirtations could resurface. Given their shared history of heartache, Hope might gravitate toward the kind-hearted Finn as a source of stability, blurring the lines between friendship and something more. This need for fresh narratives is something fans have been clamoring for, particularly regarding the show's most enduring love triangle, Ridge Forrester, Brooke Logan, and Taylor Hayes. For years, viewers have watched these strong, vibrant women repeatedly sacrifice their peace and dignity for a man who, to many, offers little in return. What once felt like passionate romance now often comes across as a tired, repetitive cycle. One fan passionately shared online, "I can't muster any excitement watching Ridge with either Taylor or Brooke anymore. It's like watching the same tired rerun on a loop. Where's the spark?" This sentiment underscores a critical disconnect. As the characters have aged, their motivations seem stuck in a time warp, failing to evolve with audience expectations. The death of Luna and the arrest of Will, while tragic, might just be the jolt the show needs. It forces a dramatic shift, breaking old patterns and creating space for new, more complex relationships to form. The future of the bold and the beautiful, ever turbulent, has never been more unpredictable. As we wrap up this exploration, one thing remains certain. The show will find ways to keep the drama alive. Whether through family mysteries, forbidden attractions, or professional challenges, the journey for these characters is far from over. Fans are encouraged to stay glued to their screens, as every episode promises to bring us closer to the answers in this ever-evolving, captivating saga. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.